Also during this time, like, and during any of the time where you like, I'm reviewing anything, if you ever just want to like ask me to pause and you have any questions, you can just shoot them my way about pretty much anything related to the game or character, anything like that, and I'll do my best to answer them. Or if you want to know, some people have like waited until I've like reviewed all of the footage. There's only 2 matches, and while they can be a little bit long to watch, but at the end they'll just be like, oh, these are the questions I had after I've kind of reviewed all the footage. So you can do it however you want.
Um, yeah, I guess afterwards is fine.
Okay. Okay. So let us get into this. The stream is live if you haven't already pulled it up or want to, and I will get reviewing this. I'm gonna watch the JFK match first. Rob, do you feel like there are things you struggle with Rob, or like there's a reason aside from, I assume, you lost this match, that you were kind of like, I want this one to be looked at?
Um, let's see. So my roommate plays Rob,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like I wasn't used to like playing a Rob that's better than he is.
Okay, yeah, yeah. I know.
So like it was my first time playing a Rob that was like better than that. So I wasn't able to adapt very quickly to what he was
That
doing.
makes sense. I know a lot of players, even like friends in my local area, things like that. They'll kind of get comfortable fighting their local like Pikachu player or whatever it may be, or their friend's Pikachu, and then they'll go out of town or somewhere to another tournament. And they'll fight a different Pikachu who might be better or just different, and it throws them off. And just some general advice I like to give for that is, like, when you go in and you fight someone who plays that same character that you might be familiar with, don't treat it like your friend or whoever you practice with normally. Kind of just like give them enough respect to understand that they are going to do things differently, and kind of try and play it where you're only using like the actual matchup knowledge. It's like, oh, Rob, like down smash isn't safe on shield no matter who's playing, as opposed to like, oh, if they mix this up. So you try and use like the hard facts to reinforce your game plan, as opposed to trying to punish player specific habits that would be something only your friend does.
Got it.
Alright, let's start out. So starting Smashville Game 1, I think that's a fine stage. I personally like Smashville a lot as well. I think the platform in the middle helps Olimar be able to juggle Rob a lot, and it can be kind of difficult for him to get in because it can give you some coverage. Maybe he's trying to do like an aerial gyro or something like that. But let's see how it starts out. So right from the get-go, I mean, it's pretty standard stuff. This is a matchup where you're going to be like both like slinging attacks at each other back and forth a lot. Like, you're going to get some hits on him, get some combos, and he's constantly trying to disrupt you with laser and gyro. And then when he gets like one of those, he wants to run in and either down tilt, forward air, grab, whatever it's going to be to like pop you up so he can get his constant hits over and over and over again, because they want to keep you in disadvantage. And so whenever you do notice yourself getting hit by like that, sometimes it's better to just be like, okay, I got hit, now, instead of trying to like force my way through him again, you need to be like, I need to diffuse this pressure. I need to like DI out, drift out, and allow myself to reset the situation. Kind of like cut your losses in a sense, where you're like, okay, I lost this interaction, now it's time for me to go so we can reset and I can outplay him once again.
Okay.
But no, you're doing pretty good so far. Just like standard stuff. I think there's a few times where you might be a little like early on, at least, where you're not going for as many like hits. You're kind of too concerned with running away from him and maybe side being. And this is something I even catch myself in at times, where it's very easy to just like fall back to run away and side B, because it's very non-committal a lot of the time. It's just, you feel comfortable doing it, but there's plenty of instances where, here, like, let me go back. Like, you get knocked off stage here, he tries to dare you, he misses the dare, you recover, and now you're grabbing the ledge and he's on it, and then like you come up and then you pluck up purple, you forward smash, and then like he's immediately chasing you back and you're trying to dodge, and like you could just jump in up air when you get like knocked off the stage right here. I'll go back just a minute and I'll show you exactly what I mean. It's like he knocks you
Alright.
off, and then you spot dodge his down tilt, and then he knocks you off, and then right here you get knocked off, and if you jump up aired, it was, I'm about 99% certain it would have caught him, especially with the yellow Pikmin because of the larger hitbox. But instead you opt to drift back side B, which, you know, it, if you were scared of the dare, which is a totally legitimate thing, like when you're in disadvantage with Olimar, your first response isn't I need to hit my opponent, it's I need to get out of here. And I know that sounds a little contradictory to what I just said, but the initial statement I made about like cutting your losses is more so when you're getting like hit like constantly and you're trying to force your way back in, kind of like how, you know, Pichu forward air or like, you know, Inkling back air is how they'll kind of carry you with it, and you're already in that bad spot. But when you're off stage or you're at the ledge or you're in a more broad disadvantaged state, not something where you're like specifically being hit, you it's okay to be like, oh, they gave me this little opening to jump and up air them or to back air them or to forward air them, right? Like they had this hole in their offense where I can then fill that and then make a reversal, you know. That's one of the nice things about Olimar is he has a lot of flexibility and when he can just make these reversals because his recovery is so good that even if you're in disadvantage, and I put quotes around that, around disadvantage, like let's say you're off stage and you don't have a jump and so are they, you can go deep and like forward air them when normally both you're worrying about getting back and then you up B back, or you can be an up B and it's like, oh no, I'm recovering off stage, and then you can like cancel it with a down air, hit them and then drift back. Like you can make these immediate reversals when the opportunity presents themselves. So it's being very confident in what you're gonna do, because you have to like, you can't be second guessing yourself. Everything you do needs to be 100% confident. Like if you're gonna go for a hit, you need to be like, I'm going to go for this hit, and I feel like it's going to work, because you know you don't choose an option if you're not confident in it. And then it's like if it doesn't work, you go, okay, it didn't work. What do I do next time? Like what adjustment do I need to make? But if it does work,
Alright.
you can be like, okay, this worked. I made the right call because I saw this little opening in his game plan.
Makes sense.
Another example right there. He knocked you off stage. You did the side B, and then you grab ledge, and he up tilts your yellow, and then you opt for a drop down or drop down jump side B, but your side B actually whiffs. I'm assuming because of how the purple resynced into your line or whatever, with how the yellow died as well. But that was
Yeah.
another example of where he up tilted. He had the extra lag from up tilting that yellow, and then you could have just drop down jump forward aired him, and it was going to hit him. He was still in lag. He wasn't going to be able to shield it. But you opted for that side because it's that very comfortable option. So, you know, that's something to work on when you're playing just in general in the future. It's just like working those aerials to your the best of your ability. They're very strong on this game. They're transcendent. They hit hard. You know, forward air is faster than side B, in fact, by 2 frames. So there's like they're definitely good to use when you're at the ledge. You know, don't be afraid to swing back when you need to when they give you an opening like that.
Alright.
Up tilt, go for the up air jumps. Yeah, right now it really does. Like the biggest thing I'm seeing is just that like not autopilot is the word I don't want to use, but just falling back to the side Bs all the time when you could be, you know, throwing an aerial or like grabbing or doing something like that. Like there's times where you could be pressing your advantage and you could be punishing him for being near you, or you could be threatening him in a way to where you're kind of like coercing him into going into the corner where then you can pressure harder, you know, by putting out this like forward smash on the ground, and then he wants to dodge it and then he runs back and you kind of keep that pressure moving forward. But instead you're opting for these side Bs and you're not allowing yourself to take the ground and take the advantage like you could be. Like people respect Olimar as a character because he's very devastating to be around. If he catches you with one thing, it can kill you. It can take you can take 80% off a hit. Like it's scary. So because they have that fear factor, because they respect you, you punish them. And if they don't respect you, then you go okay, and then you wait for them to slip up and hit you with something that isn't safe, and then you hit them with something like an up smash, for instance, right? At like 0, and then now they take 80%, and then now they respect you again.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely do those side Bs a little too much.
I know there are times where I'm in matches and I have to tell myself like stop side being like I'm getting hit because I'm not fighting this opponent like I should be. Like go in there, hit them, do things, make them scared of you, punish them on options with actual meaningful hits. So right here, like I like what you're doing. You have the gyro, like you took it from him, and you kind of stop his ability to use it to pressure. But at the same time, you're also down like a stock. He's at kill percent on his first stock. You're at mid high percent on your last stock. So you have to, while it is good to get gyro, if you're gonna get it, you want to use it to pressure him, put him into shield, and then maybe follow up with a forward smash or something. Like try and take his stock because now he should have to approach harder instead of like running away and then getting your chip damage. When you would want to do that if like the roles were reversed, right? And like you were at 144 and he was at 82 on the stocks were swapped, because then he would be forced to approach, and you could just get your like extra credit, so to speak, where you would be punishing him every time he tried to commit. But since you're down, you kind of gotta buckle down and be like, okay, it's time for me to go, and it's time for me to hit him. It's time for me to use this gyro to get extra pressure that I wouldn't normally have, and put out a potentially safe block string or something like that.
Yeah.
Something else I've noticed a few times is I'm not sure how strong your your pick management skills are, but it's something to keep in mind. I saw there was one point where like you threw a red on him and then you tried to yellow up smash through his nair. Had that been reversed, the red up smash probably would have gone through his nair because of the fire immunity. Had it been timed right. There's another instance there where you went for you like plucked a blue and you could have had a grab, and you got the grab a little bit after, but you could have got it had you like went for an up smash instead of grabbing. So just trying to practice that mindfulness of like what Pikmin are in your line and what's coming up next is going to do you a lot of favors, just so that you can make these little like optimizations in the micro game, and then it's gonna like gradually increase. It's like, oh, if you put your yellow here for that down smash, as opposed to every other color, well, maybe the down smash will hit and you'll take a stock where you normally wouldn't have. Or if you had the red here, this is going to go through the fire attack and things like that. So it's little like optimizations like that that are going to really just elevate your game slowly. And something I like to do that I feel will help you kind of like be able to focus on what your lineup is as well as the game in general. It's kind of like looking at the entire game like a I don't know if you drive, but if you drive, you know how when you do, you kind of just like look from a broad view. You don't like focus on one thing. You kind of just like let yourself take in everything you're doing.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that, and you just like focus in when you need to. It's like, oh, there's a car in front of you. You focus on that. Oh, stoplight. Focus on that. Oh, there's a car coming up to the right. You focus on that momentarily, and you kind of look at it like a big picture frame, and you just dial in where you need to. And then when you're not dialed in, you kind of zoom back out and allow yourself to take in all of the information in like a um, less focused sense, but you can kind of just pinpoint where you need every single time, and that's going to help you a lot more. And you can like look down at your Pikmin and you can take a little snapshot, for instance, like, oh, I have a red, blue, purple, and then now you know, and then you'll have that subconsciously memorized, and then you can play your game, and then you can just look at it every now and then whenever you need to notice your line until you get better at just paying attention to it subconsciously.
Got it. Yeah, usually I just like focus on the opponent.
And
I guess I can try that.
that's fine. Like the opponent is the big thing. Like if you're comfortable in your movement, and things like that, you don't always have to look at yourself, but just like as an Olimar player, you really want to be aware of what your lineup is so you can make every hit count the most. Because when you play Olimar, the difference from having like ideal Pikmin management is hitting a forward smash and then you combo it into something and they're dead, as opposed to hitting a forward smash and that's it. Like there's a big difference there when you really get things going properly.
Okay.
So this is something I want to talk about right here that a lot of Olimar players do, and I think it's a really bad habit of theirs. And it kind of goes back to that Pikmin management thing. So you get hit with the gyro here, and you just throw a blue. You get hit with the gyro. Your lineup is purple's next, and then white. So you get knocked back. You're like, okay, I need to recover. You jump, and the blue's coming back. Oh, I did not want to do that. The blue is coming back, And
Yeah.
your thought is, okay, I need to dump some Pikmin because I need to recover, which is totally fine. However, a purple is the most valuable Pikmin you can have in most scenarios, especially when you're off stage because of the extra pressure they cause because of their ability to be like that for their ability to cause knockback when you side B with them. So you get ready to jump here, and you actually throw your purple, and it doesn't make it on stage. So you lose your purple, which you wanted to lose a Pikmin to recover. However, I would have recommended either up airing while you were falling, so you're still covering this horizontal distance while you're like up airing, or whistle if it was putting the if it wasn't going to put the purple in front, and then like throwing the white or the blue. And what that's going to do is that's going to still shave these Pikmin out of your line. You're not going to have to worry about them. You're still going to be moving horizontal because you can move and do these up airs, and you're going to get to keep your purple and still empty and recover. So like when you get knocked off stage, you need to prioritize keeping these purples because they can make or break your ability to get back from the ledge safely.
Yeah. I think the reason I did that is because I'm used to, like, as used to what my roommate does. He always goes out there and like side Bs immediately with Rob.
Okay,
So I was kind of scared of that,
gotcha.
but I'll definitely keep that in mind because I often like throw the purple and then it doesn't make it on stage,
Yeah,
and then I'm stuck with like a white or something.
yeah, and I mean, you play Olimar, you know how much a purple can just like get you out of a shitty situation when you're on the ledge or something like that.
Yeah.
And then USD there, unfortunately, I assume by not up being in time, but that's fine. Like this, all right, so this is another example of that like cut your losses type of thing that just happened. Like you run up to Rob, and he starts down tilting you, and it looks like you're holding in there. I don't know if you're trying to like hit him or shield or whatever, and you even try and whistle at some point. You do whistle, and then he fares you. Like that's an instance where he's down tilting, hold like DI out, and get out of there. That's not a interaction you will win by holding forward.
Okay. Yeah. I had no clue what to do about down tilt, honestly.
Yeah, just hold out, get out of there. Like let each hit knock you away slowly. Like you're going to have to take a few of them. That's just how the move works at low percents. It's super good combos into itself.
Okay.
Something else that I just noticed as well is like, kind of sticking with the general theme, and that's just something I'm gonna keep pointing out a lot because it's like the biggest thing is like the running away and the side being like you're scared to attack when he's near you. Is like right here, you run away and you pluck a red, and then you jump side B. Whereas instead you could have been like run away. He's following me on the ground, pluck a red, F smash towards him, like force him to respect you in some capacity. But instead you opted for the non-committal side B. I think forward smash is just something you're not using very much in this set, but it's kind of because you're running away so much and you're not trying to stand your ground. So that's just something, else to keep in mind. Like, be confident, throw out your moves, make them deal with them in some capacity. Like, if you watch me or plenty of other Olimars, like when someone's coming at them, they're just like, get away from me, and they just point their finger at the dude, and it's like, now you have to respect this hitbox.
Okay. Yeah, I think like recently I've been kind of scared to do like smash, like up smash and forward smash, just because I just get nared for it most of the time, and then like the nair beats my up smash or something.
Yeah, that I get what you're saying because it's kind of scary if they're constantly beating out. But you try it, and then if you know they're beating it out, you then instead opt for a forward air, or an up air, or a back air. If you notice they're like using these aerials to smash them, you go, okay, they're doing that. So instead of forward smashing next time, I'll just run at them and forward air them when they try to jump in there, and then I win with my move transcendence.
Yeah.
So you kind of start out with this like base plan, and then you adjust it depending on what it is. Like, oh, if they're not beating my smashes, great, I'll keep using them. Oh, if they are, I'll start using my aerials because those will win.
Yeah, I think I try and get like conditioning for free,
Mm-hmm.
and it never really works because I'm scared to take the damage to like realize what my opponents like kind of what their habits are.
No, that's a totally valid thing, and I know it can be scary with Olimar because you're very light and you're gonna die easily. But the biggest thing is Like the way I look at Olimar is I don't care what my percentage. You can get me to 230 for all I care. If I'm not dead, I can win the game. And I've won a lot of games being at a massive percent because I know Olimar can get percent faster than anyone else in this game. Like all I need is 5 seconds and you'll be at kill percent.
Yeah,
And
that's true.
I know I have whistle and that can get me out of a lot of bad situations. I know that rage helps me more than it helps most of the characters in this game. So it's like if I have to take some percent, that's fine. Like yes, let's say you have me at the legend, you knock me off stage 5 times in a row because I keep doing regular get up. Am I dead? No. Did I buy me time to figure out a way to get past you? Yeah. That's all I needed. Like you have to be comfortable with taking these hits. As Olimar as a character, disadvantage is something you have to be very like comfortable with, and you have to go, okay, I will be in this section of the game plenty, and that's okay. Because when I'm not in that area, I'm going to make up for it in dividends, I'm going to be very comfortable in other areas. So you refine the disadvantage aspect in the parts where you take damage a lot to go, yeah, that happens, whatever. That's not a big deal anymore. Um, just
Got it.
you're kind of like taking these hits to learn and understand, so then you can come back and win in the long run. So, what did you went town and city? I think this is a fine stage as well. I assume you went here because the big blast zone. It's a lot of room to run. Kind of gives you a little bit of room to breathe. You're not feeling as like claustrophobic in a sense. Um.
Yeah, and
Hmm?
I like being able to recover like
Oh
kind
yeah,
of under the stage a bit too.
I agree. That's one of the reasons I really like Smashville and Town and City in this game is because you get a lot more flexibility off stage to really move around and dodge stuff. So I think this is a
Yeah.
fine stage as well. Starting out getting those side Bs.
Yeah, I was definitely playing a little scared just because this guy's always been pretty good in my region
Yeah. I know,
compared to others.
you know, just going back to what I said, and that's gonna be the recurring theme of this. Just like working on that confidence. When you hit him, go for your hits. Don't side B as much. Like next time you play him or anyone, try to just use aerials more. Try to use smashes more. Try to get in his face. He wants to run you down. You run him down instead. You be like, get out of here. You don't get to just like run over me. I've lost like tournament sets to players who were much lower than me in skill, and like general results and even results of that same tournament because I was so scared of them, because I respected them, because they might have had a matchup that was very frustrating for me. And this is in Smash 4, of course, but it's
Yeah,
like I was just like, oh no, I can't handle that corn, or I can't do that. I have to respect them or they'll kill me. And then I respected them, and then they still killed me because I respected them too much. Um, so you can't be a pushover.
okay.
Oh, hit you with a forward air.
Yeah, he kind of destroys me this game.
That's all right. Sometimes you get destroyed. When I was fighting Light at Frostbite this last weekend, he three stocked me on my counter pick, and I was like, okay, that's not good. Sometimes you gotta get your ass whooped. I like your whistle usage though; it's not bad. You're definitely like, using it more than a lot of Olimars, I feel. So that's solid because it can definitely get you out of some bad situations. I like how you pummel before you go for the up there. Not enough Olimars do that, and it drives me insane. Like it's free damage. Just go for the grab, or just go for the pummel.
Yeah, I love whistle.
So like right there is an example where I think so like you knock him down and he come down, he has invincibility, and you go for the white side being a bounce off his shield, and then you go for a fair, which wasn't a bad idea, but he still had invincibility. I think you could have actually gone for just like a purple up smash, because had he shielded, it was gonna be safe on shield. Had he jumped, it was probably gonna catch him, or he's gonna be invincible still, but you would have been on the ground.
Okay. Yeah, I see.
Yeah, Yeah, there's just not a lot of smash usage coming out from you. Like they're super strong in this game. Um, but you'll get it later on. Nice whistle on the laser. So right here when you're at the ledge, I don't know what you do yet, but something that's always really good is like, so you go for get up attack, yeah. What you can do is when he's like that, you drop down jump and you do like a cross up nair, and you want to keep it ambiguous what side you'll like end up on him with, but do like a cross up nair, and then you kind of just like shield after you roll away after, and it can create some uh, additional pressure and be it hard because like a lot if you're like drifting back and forth and you're kind of making it ambiguous what side you'll land on, it'll actually leave them in a sense where they're like, oh no, what option do I do next? And yeah, he could have up smashed out of shield potentially, um, but it's just like something better than a get up attack and you have no things to use.
Okay.
I like the high recovery there falling in there. It's good as well. There's some static. Do you hear any static? Actually, I have one idea. Let me fix something real quick and see if it helps.
Like on your mic?
What's up?
Like on your mic?
Are you hearing any static from my mic?
I mean the audio quality isn't amazing, but
Let me try something. Is that any better at all?
it sounds a little better, yeah.
All right. But I was gonna say, yeah, I think overall you could kind of just, and this will come with that confidence boost that whenever you start, feeling more confident with what you're doing, it's just like playing faster, throwing out more buttons in a sense, or it's like you're not always letting yourself just kind of stand there. You're reducing that downtime because that's something a lot of Olimars have a bad habit of doing, just like standing there. And you
Yeah.
don't want that because then your opponent, like the way, not to say you can't be patient, because I definitely like let, there are times where I have to like slow it down or I have to do, I have to camp or I have to do whatever it is. But I'm always trying to do something, whether it be organizing my line to the next best Pikmin, or getting rid of a color and then getting something new, or getting positioning for something. But there's, you don't want to just be like standing there doing nothing, especially if you don't have any Pikmin, or like you'll pluck one and then you won't do anything with it. Oh, excuse me, because like pluck is so non-committal. I think first active frame is 8 or 9. I don't remember exactly. So it's like you pluck and then it's just like you can do whatever you want. And you kind of don't want to segment your play like that. You want it to be fluid. So it's like option, 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 as opposed to like do something, stop, have to figure it out what I'm doing, or have to evaluate what my opponent is doing if they're running at me, then start up a new option. So just working on that fluidity of your play, and it's going to increase your general speed, and it's going to make you harder to pin down. I always think about it like, if my opponent, like if I can barely keep up with what I'm doing because I'm doing so many actions, so many inputs, so much like Pikmin, like shuffling and doing all that, keeping it around, it's going to be infinitely harder for the dude who doesn't play Olimar and is fighting it to deal with.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's why I just like to press a lot of buttons to keep it very difficult to keep up with. But yeah, I think that was a general thing for the ROP set. The biggest thing just being like you kind of struggling trying to keep up with stuff like that and letting yourself get ran over and not knowing when to like pull back when he's hitting you with combos, but then other times not just being like get off of me and throwing out smashes when you're on the ground and making him respect you. Alright, so this is Ness. How do you feel about Ness?
Um, I've always had like a pretty easy time with Ness, but I also haven't played any really good Nesses.
Okay.
This guy is probably like he was pretty good in Smash 4 in my region, so his Ness is good, but he doesn't use like the down B very much. So.
Okay. Alrighty, well, we will check it out and see what happens. Smashville, I think it's another fine stage as well. You can fight Ness here, no problem. Smashville's
Yeah,
just a good stage for Olimar.
I mainly just want to see if we can notice any like differences in my play, like between these 2 days or these
Oh,
two tournaments.
okay, yeah, I will definitely let you know if I see anything different.
Sweet.
Uh, I feel like I'm seeing a little bit more like forward smashing, which is good, but so far it's still a lot of that like kind of drift back, run away, like side B gameplay that you find yourself getting in because it's very comfortable.
Yeah.
And I think you feel less threatened against the Ness because you know he's not running at you with gyro and laser and neutral air and all that stuff like Rob stuff. So it's a bit easier to just be like, I'm just gonna not always have to run away if he's not going to force me to. That was a good recovery on the yo-yo waiting it out. That's one of the nice things about up B is that you can kind of just like go and then immediately stop, get them to commit, and then go back up. Ooh, okay, with the back on the get up attack. I do think you get up attack a little bit much, so just mixing up like regular get up roll and things like that would probably do you some good.
Yeah. It just worked a lot against this guy, honestly. So I decided to use it.
That's fine. That's fine. Just something to keep in mind. So right here, what you do is you throw white and blue on him, and you go for the down throw. And when you down throw somebody, if you only have one Pikmin, you cannot immediately forward air with them, because Pikmin, like for your smashes and your grab, like when you do an actual like throw, Pikmin have a different first active frame than Olimar does. So like where, for example, Olimar's forward smash first active frame is 40, so he can act on frame 40 no matter what. The Pikmin first active frame is actually later. So if you only have one Pikmin and you down throw like that, you actually have to wait just a little bit to be able to follow up, which sometimes means you won't get a follow up, because a character like Ness has really good aerial drift and you know he gets out of combos really easily. Sometimes you have to cut your losses, but that's just something to keep in mind so you don't be like with fares.
Do you think it's because I like first or
Sorry, you went out there. Do I think it's what?
do you think it's because I ran forward first? Before I did the forward air, or?
No. It's simply because you went for the forward air immediately after the down throw, and that purple was still finishing its down throw animation.
So that probably wouldn't have even if I waited, he might have been able to.
Yeah. Had you waited a little bit for the Pikmin to finish, you might have been able to hit him. But had he been holding out and just yanking away, you probably weren't going to catch him. Which, I mean,
Okay.
that's fine. You're still getting down throw damage. It's just sometimes you could be like, maybe I should go for a back throw, which is more flat damage than a down throw and might give me stage position. So it wasn't like
Yeah.
a terrible play in a sense. It's just something to keep in mind moving forward so you whiff your down throw follow-ups less.
Yeah, I didn't actually know that, so that's good.
Ooh. Punch, another get up attack. Good forward smash on his air dodge. Yeah, I think you're getting to like flex a little bit more of your actual like skill in this game because you're not spending so much time running. There are definitely times where you're side being when you just don't need to, or you're not, or you're side being and instead of like following up off of what the side B causes, you're instead still running away and then side being. Um, but because that nest isn't like gunning you down, it's letting you maybe like throw out like F smash reads or do these throw combos and kind of like actually play the game a little bit more.
Okay.
I still do think like you kind of need to work on that transitioning and that fluid gameplay so that you're not letting yourself just like only side B. It's like you side B and then you transition into the forward air, the forward smash, and you keep that pressure going, and it makes a very difficult like moving wall to deal with.
Got it.
Back air you there again because you were very like stuck on side being like you side beat, he just came and just kicked you in the head with back air. So just watch out on those side Bs. Don't just like let a forward air rip if he's approaching, or shield, or get away from him, or throw a smash. But just you gotta reel back on those. Back throw smart. Yeah, you gotta watch out on those get up attacks. You've done them every single time.
Yeah.
Oh, alright, you got the purple snipe. Yeah, that game, there was a lot of times where you were just kind of outplaying him and you were giving him a lot of trouble, but you would you would give him an inch and he would take a mile. Like you would side B one too many times, or because you would get in the habit of it, and he'd be like back air, and then you would get off stage, and then from there it kind of just spiral because you'd be like get up attack or try and do this, and then you wouldn't force him. Oh, sorry about hitting the mic. You wouldn't force him about. You wouldn't force him to like respect you. You weren't like forward airing or dropping down from the ledge and up airing when he was right there and he wasn't in shield. Kind of making him respect Olimar's bubble. So he goes Fox here. Fox on PS2 I think is a fine stage. I actually like PS2 against Fox. It gives you a lot of room to breathe for someone who's going to be like running you down the entire time.
Yeah.
So I think this is a fine stage. The static is back? That's really weird. Alright, so let's check this out. I am actually interested to see how you handle Fox, as he's typically more aggressive. Good combo. I like the up tilt to double up air. Works really well on fast fallers because they can't always get out of it.
Yeah, I was mostly just scared of like Nair and up smash.
Similar to Smash 4, if you played that, like Fox gets shut down hard by shield. That's the way to deal with a lot of what he does. Sometimes he has safe. That was a good whistle down smash. Sometimes he has safe stuff, and that's all right. But like his similar to Olimar, his safeness will peter out as he hits your shield. It's like the Nair will be safe, and then the next option might be kind of safe, and then the third option's not safe. And that's your opening, right? And it does create like mix-ups because like, oh, what if he grabs after Nair? And that's kind of what allows him to flourish, is that he always keeps you guessing. But if he grabs you, it's fine. He's Fox. He's not going to kill you.
This game, like if you're.
Oh, I did not want to turn that on. That was a good roll from the ledge. Like right here, what he's doing, like if he wants to just play this like slow campy game, you're playing it perfect. You're controlling that middle area, and you waited for him to come down, and then you caught him with like a forward air, and that's exactly what you want to do.
Sweet. Yeah, I feel a lot more confident against characters that are more like rushed down
Yeah.
or just like get in your face.
Yeah, they all tend to be a lot more, I guess, simplistic in what you need to do. It's just like don't let them get in my face, or don't like wait until they give me an opening. Where someone like Rob, it's a bit more like how do I weave around the gyro, nair, and laser all the time while he's poking me with down tilts, and he's not necessarily like gunning me down. I think what you're doing here, you're kind of just running back. Like these instances where it's really good to use like side B and retreating forward smashes to get that extra damage. You have the stock lead, so he has to approach. If he does dash attack your shield, you can actually up smash it if you're fast enough out of shield. So that's something to know as well when fighting Fox.
Got it.
Caught you there with a dash attack. You tried to side B again. I think a forward smash probably would have worked a little bit better. Sorry, there's not too much to say. You're kind of just like playing the right game, and it's just little things like side being at the wrong time at the moment that are getting you punished. But overall, like your game plan is very solid right now.
That's fine. Let's see.
Go for the back throw. Threw the blue off there. I mean, that's I would have kept it probably just for the up throw, and you weren't going to get anything off throwing it anyways. But it's not the end of the world. Catch you with a raw up smash. That's fine though. He's at kill percent to like everything, so it's not a huge deal. Catch him with the up throw because he shielded the yellow. I did notice. I am noticing that you have a little bit of a habit of like rolling past then up tilting, and as someone who catches themselves doing that a little bit too much as well, I know it can be hard to not do, but I think that's also worth like watching out. Like sometimes it's better just to shield after you roll or do a different attack because up tilt's very committal if you miss.
Yeah, that's true. I used to do it even more, but still getting out of that habit.
Yeah. Okay. You're not doing too bad when you're on the ledge either. Like you're kind of getting around a lot of his options. It's just usually on stages where you're getting punished for stuff. So that's good because the ledge is usually where a lot of Olimars tend to struggle. And while like your options definitely aren't perfect there, it's the fact that you keep getting back is the important part.
Yeah.
What you're doing right here is what I really like. It's just like you're keep poking him with like that sour spot F smash because you catch his regular get up, and that's a good. Like, just keep doing it until you find the hit that finally kills. It's okay to do like a slow burning like thing like that where you're just outplaying them piece by piece, and you catch them up down. Nice. Um, yeah. So I'd say that set was pretty different than the first one because that player, or at least the way you handled it, like you weren't letting yourself kind of get uh, scared as much. You were a bit more confident in your actions. You were going for more smashes. The big things were like making sure that you don't side B as much. You know, be confident in your other options, your smashes, your aerials, things like that. Those are going to get you a lot more mileage than just always side being. Ideally, you incorporate everything into like a really fluid playstyle where you do side Bs. Like if you watch me play, like I side B a lot. And sometimes I get punished for it, you know, and it's something I always try and like refine, find that perfect balance. But you also have to throw in these other moves that will actually elicit a reaction out of your opponent and allowing them to kind of just like blitz through it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was definitely better that game. Watch out on your ledge options. You know, don't get up attack as much, especially if you're getting punished for it. Like get up attack is the worst option out of every other option in this game, ledge option in this game, because it's so easy to get punished and you get punished hard when it happens. Watch out on the ledge roll into up tilts. You know, trying to curb that a little bit. Overall, I felt like you were making some pretty solid decisions. Your whistles weren't bad. I think just like your general game plan felt solid. I think it was just the more like Olimar specific stuff, like maybe managing your Pikmin a bit cleaner or keeping this Pikmin for the grab, or knowing like, oh, you weren't going to get a follow up off that down throw because the Pikmin was still in its animation, things like that. Which, like you said, you've only been playing for a couple months, so that stuff you'll learn the longer you
Yeah.
play the character, and just like always practicing that mindfulness. Like if something doesn't happen, like if you do go for a down throw and it whiffs, be like, you know, try to ask yourself why did it whiff, and then go figure it out after that match. Or like if you down smash the legend, it's not a yellow, be like, oh, did I have a yellow? Could I have used that for the bigger hitbox? Or like, oh man, I just F smashed when I had that blue and I could have grabbed. Like little things like that. Always try and catch yourself whenever you're messing up and things like that to make sure that you're going to be better about it the next time.
Sounds good.
Did you have any questions or anything you wanted to ask me?
Um, no, it's just let's see. Usually against like zoning characters and characters with projectiles, I'll just like side B more and like kind of wait for them to do something about it, and it doesn't always work.
Mm-hmm.
Like against Young Link, I'll just like side B and wait till they do something. And I feel like I end up just losing. I usually end up just losing those
Yeah.
games.
I see what you're saying. It's because for a lot of characters who zone, like with the like heavy projectiles like that, their projectiles will maybe do less percent in the long run compared to yours, but theirs will be much more impactful in the actual match. So like, you'll throw a Pikmin and it'll do like 10% in the end. Young Link will shoot a fire arrow, it'll do like 7, and then it just comboed into forward air. Things like that. So what you want to do is, and this will be a bit easier if you kind of accelerate the general rate at which you play the game and you kind of create a fluid style, is like learn how to incorporate side Bs as you're working forward. Like use a side B to block the projectile while you're coming at them and you're like covering you're gaining this ground like stage control and you're pushing them back, or like use a running forward smash to like put out a hitbox that will beat their projectile while you're moving forward. So ideally you incorporate like parries, side B, F smash all together to like block their projectiles while you're covering this distance. And then when you're up close you can use an aerial or you can use a smash, but you have to be comfortable in like brute forcing your way through their projectiles. Purple side B is really good for it. F smash is really good for it. The non-purple side Bs can also block them, but it can be a little worse. The nice thing about the purples is that it'll go through it and keep going. Like I know a lot of Olimar struggle with Ivysaur because of Razor Leaf, but pairing does wonders, and I know it's a little tough, but it helps a lot. F smash goes through it, things like that. But you have to once again be confident in what you're doing and go, I can outplay this. I can get through this guy, and once I do, once I'm up close to him, he's a zoning character who has these all right options. I'm Olimar. Like most people don't do that area much better than Olimar. So you're gonna get a lot more bang for your buck with every hit than he will.
Got it. Also, I find myself like I guess at mid range a lot, and sometimes I'll throw out like a whiffed forward air, forward smash. So it's like I'm not quite sure the best way to get close to them.
Well,
Like, should I
it's
side B and
okay
then?
to miss. Like you don't. Not every attack you do has to like hit them. Sometimes I throw out attacks solely to make them respect that area. It's like I'm gonna put out this forward smash, and now you have to respect it, and which ends up being you're going to retreat or you're going to try and get through it, and then when like I'm trying to space with the tip of it, it's like they can't punish me because of how I'm spacing it. Like mid range Olimar is something Olimar does pretty well, so it's okay if you whiff, just like similar to what I was saying earlier about how like Fox would like hit your shield with the one thing that's safe, and then he'd hit it with some one thing that's a little bit less safe, and then like the third thing is where it's actually not safe. It's kind of
Yeah.
like that with Olimar. It's like when you're in that mid range, you're gonna go option, 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 and ideally what you want to do is catch them with one of those options, and then once you hit them, then they go back. Or the mix up is like instead go for that one safe F smash, and then be like, oh, I'm gonna retreat real quick, and just like feel out how they're dealing with your options and mix up your timings, because you have so like Olimar can press so many buttons compared to most characters. Like you can be like F smash, down tilt, jab, or like side B fair, down tilt. There's just so much you can do. Um, so don't be afraid to like get creative with like all the different mix-ups you're doing, because and you also want to change the dynamic of how you play. Like if you have two purples and like a yellow, for instance, you're going to be playing entirely different than if you had one purple, a red, and a white.
Yeah.
There's allow yourself like to change what you're doing depending on your lineup. And that's going to make certain approaches a lot easier. Like once you plug that second purple, you can be like, oh, I have two purples now. Now I can go in a lot harder than I was before. Now I can force them to respect me. Now I can put out legitimate block strings and things like that.
So if I do have two purples, and like let's say I hit the shield with a side B. Um, like what's so strong about having the second one? Like
What you
Or
can
what's strong about that?
what
What's strong about having two of them?
what you can do is like, let's say you're in shield, like a little bit of ways from me, like that mid range, and I have two purples. I can jump purple side B with one, land purple side B with the other. They're while I'm moving forward, right? So I'm like moving forward at you while I'm doing it. And I don't know how safe it is in this game, but I'll just use Smash 4 as an example because I'm pretty sure it's still very safe in this game. Purple side B on shield is +2 in Smash 4. That means when it hit your shield, assuming we did it at the same time, I could act 2 frames before you could.
Okay.
That's very good. So what you're doing, what makes two purples so strong is like, I just like if I throw two purples at your shield, I not only can change up the timing at which I throw them, so it's always different, and you don't always like react at the same time, but I can then come closer and I can forward air you, forward smash, down tilt to try and shield poke, down tilt if you jump. Like it allows me to hit you with different timings every time, and then different moves and follow ups every time. Spaced forward air is safe on shield. So, like if I throw two purples, they bounce off your shield. I can re-grab that purple and then forward air you.
Got it.
Or I can, like double purple and then I can dash attack and cross up your shield. And then now you might not have an option to punish me. It makes it very ambiguous and hard for them to pin down because you're just throwing so many hard hitting moves. And the littlest thing can just like, if they mistime their thing even slightly, if they try to roll at the wrong time, you hit them. Like when, let's say I do a full hop, right? Like I jump my entire jump and I throw a purple, and it kind of goes behind them. And then while I'm falling, I'm at like that short hop height. I throw another purple. What this does is the purple that I threw when I was at my full hop, it's gonna go behind them and right above them. So if they jump, they get hit. If they roll back, they get hit. The purple I
Okay.
threw at the short hop height covers right on top of them, so that will hit them. And then now I'm at the base level, and now I can down tilt, I can forward air with the purple that I just hit their shield with, or the pigment I have. I can forward smash, and I pretty much lock down every option they have until I'm done with my block string. But if you space your moves right, your block string is legitimately safe. Like if I space my forward smash for the tip, they cannot punish. If I space my forward air with the right color, they cannot punish.
Okay.
So it just like
I guess.
locks down what they're doing.
Yeah. One more question I had was, how do you? I guess. See a lot of top Almars get the up smash at low percent. But like I have trouble getting it at low percent in order to combo.
Um, the two biggest ways are if they're hitting your shield with something that's unsafe, you up smash out of shield, like that Fox
Yeah.
dash attack, for example. Or you notice they have they're a character that approaches a lot with aerials, so you kind of pay attention to their jumping habit, and you go, oh, you're gonna jump down, then you run into them and up smash them.
Okay.
So it's like paying attention to the little things like that, like when they jump, where they jump, and the spacing in between like you and your opponent can tell you a lot about what they're gonna do. It's like if you're at a certain distance relative to them, that you could be like, oh, they're gonna jump and try and go for their forward air now, and it's like then you kind of run in at them on the ground while they're jumping because you know they're gonna do it, and then catch them then up smash.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
Is that
that's all the
everything?
questions. That's all the questions I really had right now.
Okay.
We can cut it. We can cut it. We can cut it now if you like.
Okay, yeah, that's
So
everything.
just show me.
Yeah, I will write up that document like I was telling you, and I'll get it to you either later tonight or tomorrow. Just kind of like detailing all the things I did. If I can think of any like particular resources as well, I will also include them there. That might give you a little bit of extra help. And that's
Sweet.
just something you
Sounds
can
good.
reference. And then I will let you know. I will also DM you on Discord whenever the YouTube VOD of this session is put up, so you can watch it back whenever you want to or anything like that.
Sweet.
Alrighty, man. Thank you, and I
Yeah.
hope you have a good day.
Thanks. You too.
Alrighty, guys. Now that that is finished, how's it going, everyone?